The Fujicast is an independent loading zone production.
Back from West Wales, Kev. Was it good? You love West Wales, don't you? It's one of your holiday meccas. You don't have to go too far. It's a place you've been going for years, isn't it?
Yeah. No, we go. It's about it's over a 3-hour drive from our place.
Yeah.
So it is nice. Yeah, we stop off to see mum and dad on the way, and then just spend basically 7 days in the Pentra Arms.
In the pub with the large window overlooking the sea. Yeah, I know the one very well from your pictures. I haven't seen any this year. Did you take many?
No, not really.
That was it.
This year we were mostly responsible for making Albie's media studies perfume advert.
What? Well, I know what a perfume advert is, but explain to me how Albie and Media Studies perfume advert came to be in the same sentence.
Well, that's his project. He's got to make a perfume advert. So
did he decide that, or was that something?
No, they had to make an advert, so he decided to make a perfume advert.
Okay.
So it was very creative, actually. I didn't, he did it all. He used the drone to kind of fly past Rosa on the beach, and he did some kind of slow-mos of waves breaking and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so it was good.
I thought for a minute it was going to be an advert feature. I can understand Rosa being in it, but I thought for a minute it was going to be you, Kev, as sort of like the man from Brute or something like that.
Yeah, well, I did say to him, we just need a couple of wolves, and I can bring my guitar, and I'll be just like the advert on the telly. But
do you remember Brute, by the way? Do you remember those old brands, Brute,
Old Spice? I still use Old Spice.
You do not use Old Spice. Do they still make it?
Yeah, you can only find it in certain places now, but yeah. A bit of Old Spice smash on after a shave.
You only find it in old
ladies wild, that.
Does it? Do you remember High Karate? That was the one that you got at Christmas in your stocking.
Yeah.
High Karate made you feel like a grown-up person.
Yeah.
God.
And it was made of...
Don't say that, because I'm not sure they still make it. I'm sure it wasn't. High Karate, what was the other one? Oh yeah, denim for the man who doesn't have to try too hard. That was the slogan, wasn't it? God dear.
Forgot about that one.
Anyway, welcome along the Fujicast. It's a little bit later going to print, as they say today, because Kev's been on holiday. We never quite got a chance to record before all of our adventures were happening, and so we're a little bit later than usual. But we're here, Kev. That's the main thing. With your questions that you've sent in to click at fujicast.co.uk, or indeed through the Facebook page. How do you do that, Kev? It's made easier by our Neil, I know. And has he made it easy for you of late?
Yes, he has. I've just been checking, actually. Facebook group, Fujicast, questions for the show thread, and there's a few for us to get through. Not a massive amount, considering we haven't really been... it's been a good couple of weeks.
Well, and you were waving the sword of Damocles as well, weren't you?
Yeah. No, there's some. That's fine. We're good. And we've had emails, I think.
Yeah.
All good.
And in case you get a little bit confused, there are two Neils. There's me, Neil, Neale, and there's Neil, Neil, Neil Ford, who is the cleverest one in the in the whole department. What you don't know about tech, mind you two probably could get nosebleeds together, couldn't you? Talking about tech. Yeah,
every time I go to the spreadsheet he puts together, so he sucks out all the questions from Facebook and sticks them in a Google, what do they call it, Google Sheets. And it's always a little bit different. It's always like a little flourish added. It's like the search or a count of the questions outstanding and all of that kind of stuff.
Blimey.
So yeah, he's very good.
That's above and beyond, Kev.
I'm happy for our Neil.
Yeah, me too. Right. I've got to go and find that. Can you start with the Facebook one, because I've just pressed the wrong button for the folder for my questions.
Yeah. In which case we will go. We'll go straight in for Dominique Martel.
Oh, Dominique. We know Dominique.
Hello. I'd like to know if you change your SD cards at some intervals and if it's recommended to do so. They could last years and years, but do you throw them away after 2, 3, 5 years to make sure you are safe? Especially on single SD card cameras like the X100 VI. A quick search showed they could last 5 to 10 years. Do you use them until they break, or do you change them proactively to make sure you don't lose pictures?
Well, you've got me thinking I should change them more proactively, Kev. I tend to only, because I use a twin slot camera, I don't want to tempt fate here. This is like tempting Providence. I'm touching wood and anything else that's safe here. But I'm thinking, look, if one of the cards does a bit of a naughty, I can just throw it, because SD cards are reasonably cheap these days. I'll just bung it away and buy a new one. I did recently have the CF Express card in one go wrong. That one was a little
expensive.
Yeah, that one was more troubling because they ain't cheap. It was one of the ones you sold me, actually, Kev. It had Kev written on the back of it.
Having your money back.
Yeah. Can I apply? No, but I'm not sure if it went wrong. It just there was some. I don't know about you, but if in your wedding days, if a card ever had corrupt files, there was never a second chance for a card. It met the great card bin in the sky if that happened. I never kept a card. If there was any problem with it, bomb, gone.
No, absolutely same as me. I used to sell them to you.
Oh, now I see what happens.
No, it's a really good question, and I always remember our old friend Jeff Askoff saying that he used to recycle his cards every season. Now, this is wedding photography, of course.
Yeah.
And he would buy new cards, whenever January or whatever, and retire the other cards. I never did that at all. In fact, I'm sure I've still probably got cards from my very first season kicking around. But I have bought lots of new ones over the years, especially as technology's changed to, UHS-2 and faster cards and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I never really went down the route of getting rid of them. On the extremely rare occasions that they did fail, I never had one fail in the camera on the job, but I've had a couple that went, the memory card reader corrupted them or something like that, So, those memory cards then just go straight in the bin. Yeah. I mean, I think these days modern memory cards, I think you can trust them. But, if you want to be super safe, then yeah, recycling. And I would say really anything commercial based, you'd only be thinking about this. Recycle them maybe once every 2 or 3 years, perhaps. If you're just a casual hobbyist shooter, then yeah, I wouldn't worry about it at all in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about having some cards from a long, long time back. I think I've got my original CF card, not CF Express, but CF cards from my Canon 5D. I think I've still got them somewhere. They'll be knocking around. I've never quite brought myself to get rid of those ones. Do you remember Ian Bursell?
I do remember Ian, yes.
Yeah. Hi, Neil. Hi, Kev. After 20 glorious years of documenting love and tears and very questionable dance moves, I'm hanging up my wedding photography boots. My last wedding, a spectacular farmer's wedding in a marquee, will be next July. A good one to finish on. Truth is, I developed what I can only describe as post-speech syndrome. The moment the best man wraps up his cringeworthy anecdotes, oh, careful here, Ian, my body enters full shutdown mode. But no, I must endure another 2.5 hours of purgatory until Aunt Linda finally wobbles onto the dance floor to come on Eileen. I think this is the time to hang up your camera, Ian. But I do like your writing. And speaking of wobbling, I think this sentence is going to be about me, Kev. Can we talk about the intoxicated guest gauntlet? Picture this. I'm minding my own business, being an artiste lovey, when suddenly I'm surrounded by champagne-fueled wedding goers demanding portraits like I'm a booth at a carnival. Pure documentary, I protest, backing away slowly. But they don't care. They want their close-up, and they want it now. Now, don't get me wrong, I've had a decent run. Regional awards, a WPJA trophy, even topped the UK rankings back in 2009. But lately I've been looking around and realising all my photography heroes, Atkins, Murray, Askoff, Taylor. Funny we're not in that list there, Kev.
I did think that, yeah.
Who's Murray? Which one was Murray?
David Murray, David Murray from Liverpool.
Oh, God, yeah, David, yeah. Have either pivoted to teaching street photography, making Lightroom presets on YouTube, or desperately trying to figure out what aesthetic means on TikTok. Meanwhile, I'm just here dreaming of my exit package, selling every piece of kit and buying myself a Nikon Z6. Just me, some landscapes and maybe the occasional portrait of somebody who isn't 6 Proseccos deep and asking if I can make them look thinner. So here's a question for you veterans. Well, I notice we're in that word.
Yeah.
Do you have an escape plan? Well, clearly you've not been listening very much, Ian, because Kev has executed his masterfully. Will you actually miss this madness when you're done, or will you be, like me, breathing a sigh of relief while photographing a nice, peaceful mountain that doesn't request just one more with flash? Cheers, but not the wedding kind. Ian Bursell. Ian, that's one of the best letters we've ever had.
Yeah, it's good, that.
That really is. That's fantastic. I don't know what to add to that, Kev. I know he's asked a question, but I almost feel like saying, and next question's from Kev.
Well, I guess what he's asking is, what's the exit plans? And, I've already exited, as you quite rightly pointed out. I exited some, I don't know, 18...
Last year, wasn't it?
18 months ago now, I think.
Was it really? No. Last year?
Oh, no, it wasn't. It was 2024, or 23, was it? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Right.
Time
flies, Kev. Time flies.
Bear with me, caller. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. I think it's about 18 months. But, yeah, so I kind of decided, I didn't get the same frustrations as Ian was getting. I never really kind of had those issues as such, although I wouldn't say they never existed. But yeah, I mean, I moved away to kind of passive income and workshops and stuff, and I'm not too proud to say I make similar income from that as I did from weddings. So I'm more than happy with that. But yeah, I mean, you do. At the end of the day, wedding photography is a very good income.
Yep.
And it's a tough job, but it's a very good income. And, it does kind of, I think, if you're reliant entirely on it, as a lot of people are, not everybody, but as a lot of people are, then you've got to get your financial eggs in a basket, or whatever they call it. Isn't it? Ducks in a basket, eggs in a row, whatever. make sure you can still pay your bills when you decide to hang up and hang up your good cameras and get one of those Nikon ones. And if that's the case, then yeah, it's time. And I mean, I don't know how old Ian is, but I know he's been around for a very long time.
Ian's. I think he's 92. I think Ian.
So yeah, I mean, I agree with him. There has been a shift in what you would call the kind of older guard, I suppose. But that's natural, isn't it? Same as any industry. Dentists move on, younger people come through, styles change, technology changes. So yeah, it's all about making your choices and shooting your duck egg in a row at the right time.
Funny you should mention dentists moving on. I was in my own old hometown the other day. I went up to do an after-dinner speech. Me, Kev, doing after-dinner speeches. There we go. There's one sort of.
Well, tell us more about that. What was that from radio days?
Sort of. I'll come back to that. But I saw the old dentist I used to go to on the corner as I drove right to go up this particular, because it was in my old hometown. And I thought, I wonder if Mr. Buchanan, Dr. Buchanan, are they doctors or Misters dentists?
I think they're doctors.
Right. I wonder if he's still there. And I looked for his gold plaque. It was still a dentist. I looked for his gold plaque, and then because I was stuck at the traffic lights and I couldn't see it properly. But he's definitely. I don't think it was there. And then I thought, well, of course it wasn't, because he was about 50 when I was going when I was 15. He'd have to be a vampire to still be, mind you. Having said that, but yeah, no, it was a speech from somebody who was a mentor in my life, really, who asked me 2 years ago to speak at his 70th birthday. He planned very early, Kev, for this. So I did a half-hour act, Kev. Half-hour act.
Very good. Was everybody still awake at the end?
No, they'd all gone. They'd all left the room.
I'm sure they have.
But I don't know. See, Kev, you've got this. Because you make gazillions of pound notes making your presets and your training courses, etc.
I wouldn't say gazillion, but I think probably the best. It's for you to answer this, because he asked, "What's the exit plans for us?" And yeah, as you said, he hasn't been listening to the podcast for at least 18 months. But so you're the only one that could potentially have an exit plan, because my exit plan has been exited.
I did so few weddings this year. I may have exited without even knowing it. I mean, next year
I have been pushed out the door.
Yeah, next year I have even less than I've got this year.
Why do you think that is? Do you think is that? I know that you've kind of got your eyes on different things a bit. But.
Yeah, shocking SEO probably, and the fact I don't enjoy writing blog posts about it as much as I do. When I'm at the wedding, by the way, I still enjoy them, but I'm not as Steve, who do you remember that guy called Steve who used to once upon a time look after our Facebook and stuff? What was his name? Steve. Steve.
Began with a Z, didn't it? Steve Zorn.
Steve who? Steve who? That showbiz.
Oh no, I know who it was. Yeah, it was Steve Vorbs.
Oh, Vorbs. That was the one.
Yeah.
Now here's a man that's been saying for a long, long time he's leaving, isn't he? Or he's doing less, and he seems to be doing twice as many as he ever did.
This time next year, Rodney.
Yeah, but I think,
but I have been speaking to quite a few people over the last few months, and when full-time wedding photographers who are all kind of a bit down in terms of numbers and inquiries and stuff. So I think there's a general apathy. But as always, those things are cyclical, and I'm sure we'll come back. But there's definitely a downward. We're in a downward slump, if you like. Well, I'm not anymore.
A couple of years ago, you called it the wedding blip, but the blip has become a bloop, I think, and the word's getting even longer.
I think we're out of the blip. I think now what we're experiencing is the fear of cost of living. That's what I think we're experiencing now. So anyway,
I suppose exit plan. I don't necessarily have a formal exit plan from weddings because I'll still do them. Not that many come along for me for it to be something in my life where I'm thinking I don't want to do that, because I'm not doing many, Kev. If I did 10 to 12 a year, I think I'd be quite happy. But the other stuff I do, the podcasting is really important. The travel holiday thing is very, very slowly coming into some form of proper shape now. And as you know, I became a funeral and a wedding, not done a wedding yet properly, but celebrant. So my life has shifted. Maybe an after dinner I don't know. I mean, things happen as you go along in life, don't they? I mean, I was sat on a table on Saturday, sat next to the editor of a particular part of the BBC, and they said, "Well, have you ever thought about going back into radio?" And we started talking about it, and I thought, isn't it funny how you never know who you meet and what you might do next again. So,
well, no, that was something on your mind a couple of years ago, wasn't it? I remember you kind of thought about that. Maybe more than a couple of years ago, but
yeah, I cast it to one side because I didn't really want to do the kind of radio, the bubblegummy radio of silly jokes between songs. I thought, no, I don't think I can do that. But some opportunities, yeah.
Not allowed to do jokes on the radio anymore.
You are, aren't you?
Get cancelled.
No, well, it depends what kind of jokes you do, Kev, obviously.
Well, you don't want to upset the, I don't know,
apple cart.
Strawberries or
the ducks in a row. No.
Apples or ducks or whatever the joke is about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have made fun of the ducks and the eggs.
No.
I'll probably be in trouble now.
You probably will be.
Anyway, I just looked at Ian's website and he still is because he's still shooting. A fantastic wedding photographer.
Oh, he is. Yeah. And he's a very good letter writer. Perhaps he should go into professional letter writing.
Yeah. Or just get AI to do it. Talking of that, just on a very small tangent, I was on a coaching course this weekend, and the guy leading it was a 65-year-old ex-Olympic Japanese judo champion.
Blimey.
Very, very funny guy, very amazing technician, very funny guy. And at one point he got out his little book and he was talking to us about techniques and, some of the famous old judokas from like the 60s and 70s and all of this kind of stuff. And then at the end, after he kind of read this out in his very good English, but certainly, Japanese structured English, he said, anyway, that is according to AI.
Oh dear. See, helps communication, Kev. Right. Very good letter, Ian. Enjoyed that a lot. Food for thought. I'm not sure we've completely. I think we have completely answered it. Actually, no, we have answered it. Definitely answered it.
Yeah, I think so.
But that was a cracking letter. Thank you, Kev. Yours.
Jeff, my mate Jeff Petrie. Now I know it's Petrie now, even though I play chess with Jeff a lot.
Right.
And I know him reasonably well. I pronounced his surname wrong last time. I called it Petrie, but it's Petrie.
Well, we've been calling him Petrie for years.
Yes, I know, but it's
So sorry,
Petrie.
Jeff. Right, yeah.
He called me out on that. Anyway, he says, let's talk about monitor display calibration. Do you calibrate your monitors? What are your thoughts and feelings about your images having a mismatch and possibly looking worse for your clients because they're not using a calibrated monitor? Do you find that there's a big difference between the default factory settings and the recommended calibration? Does it make a big difference for your black and white work? How often do you calibrate? Which of the various products on the market do you use and why?
God, we did a whole program on this once, Kev. Do you remember we did a special?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we had the chap from Calibrate on,
We
didn't we?
did. Should I feel really, really guilty that I hardly ever calibrate?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, actually. My feeling is, and I've got no technical kind of proof of this, but my feeling is more modern Aurora monitors hold their calibration better.
Did you just say more Modena?
Yeah, more modern calibrating monitors.
All right.
Yeah, those things.
AI definitely didn't write that.
No, I think that they personally, I haven't calibrated the monitors. I've got two monitors in front of me. I haven't calibrated them in a very, very long time. I do have the Calibrate Spider, whatever it's called, and the software, and I had used that in the past. And maybe it's a symptom of me not really doing weddings anymore. I don't know, but I'm still doing commercial stuff and everything. So I just don't. It's not something that comes to my mind, I've got to say.
Yeah. Maybe it should, Kev. Are we less professional?
I vaguely remember the last few times doing it and doing the before and after and thinking, well, that was an hour of my life wasted watching this dongle hanging down in front of the screen because there's no difference. But like I said, that might well be because I do have pretty beefy monitors and they might just be better at holding their calibration.
Maybe, yeah.
That's just my personal thing. I would imagine people who are very highly dependent on printing, especially if they're printing themselves, will be calibrating a lot more often, and not just the screen, but the printer as well. I just don't do that. I don't even have a printer. I don't even have a printer that prints letters, printer.
I've got one of those, a laser printer, but me and printers, I don't know about you, Kev, but anytime I've had a colour printer, within a day, it's got a banding issue, and I want to just throw it in the biffer bin. I agree. That's my kind of opinion. If you're dependent on high quality prints, then probably you'll be doing it. If not, I don't know. Depends then on your monitor, doesn't it, and the capabilities of it, and the ability for it to retain a strong calibration longer. And actually, when the phones, I'm talking in terms of iPhone now, but I'm sure the Androids do the very same thing. Whether you have them on, what's that setting that in the evening it all goes yellow just to save your eyes. And your sanity.
Yeah.
And then everything looks wrong anyway. And some people leave it on that setting because they quite like that setting. Yep. So, you're right. If you're involved in publishing, and making books, it makes, But anyway, do you want a question that's sort of like a bit like that one, Kev? It's an old gold favourite. Are you ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
Des O'Riordan. Isn't he a comic?
Yeah, my mum. We've talked about this before. My mum had a great picture with Des O'Riordan and a monkey on her shoulder.
Hi Neil. Hi Kev. A quick question for you both. Stand by. The upcoming Fujifilm X-Pro4/5. I know a lot of people are anticipating the new X-Pro. What price bracket do you think it will be in? What features will it have? Film, SIM dial, fully articulating rear screen, that'll cause trouble. Hybrid viewfinder, 40 megapixel sensor. Plus one final question. Do you think the Fujifilm camera lineup is getting a bit crowded? Lots of new cameras, each with a target audience, but all a bit samey in a way. Thank you and happy shooting from Des with an animal on his shoulder.
Well, let's answer those questions in...
Do you want one by one?
Yeah.
What price bracket would an X-Pro4/5 be?
It will be expensive, I'm sure. I don't really... the thing about the X Pro is that it is... by name alone, Pro is, it's meant to be the top of the line. And so, the cameras, not just Fujifilm, of course, but all of the brands, the prices have been going up. If I had to put my finger on it, I would be saying somewhere between 1,800 and 2,100, potentially. I think the last one that came out, which was, of course, the X-Pro4 many years ago, I think was 13, it might have been 1,400. This is sterling. It's going to be a lot more expensive in America these days, isn't it? Because of the tariffs. Although I think haven't they sorted that out? Didn't the King of America went over to China and spoke to him or something? I don't know. Anyway, whatever.
No, he slapped a 58% tariff on them, didn't he? Or something?
Yeah, I don't know. Something recently, I think, has affected tariffs to bring them down from China. So that might all kind of resolve itself, which I hope it does. Price wise, I mean, it will be. The thing is, we've recently had the XT30 Mark III release. That was the latest camera release, and that was a couple of weeks ago. And that has to be the last of this current sensor. It traditionally is, and well, the XE5 is traditionally it, but they've kind of squeezed this one in. So there is no other cameras for this, for the current X-Trans sensor or the current processor. So the next sensors and processors, presumably, again, I've got no inside knowledge on any of this stuff any longer, is going to be next year. One would guess. I mean, maybe they'll do something this year. I really don't know, but in which case, I really, really hope that the X-Pro4 or whatever they decide to call it will be the first one, because traditionally it was the first one in the sensors.
Yeah, but there's no confirmed release date, is there?
Oh God, no! There's not even any rumours about it. So whether we'll actually
there are
see it.
Some rumours that say it's probably just going to skip X-Pro4 and become X-Pro5.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen that either. But yes, I mean, I'd be surprised if they even called it X-Pro5 because we've got the XT5, XM5, all of that, XE5. I potentially think it could even be X-Pro6. Okay. And then you've got the XT6 that will come next, and the XT60, etc., etc. So don't know about pricing. What it will have will certainly be the latest, shiniest, all singing, dancing sensor. I strongly believe they will keep the design and ergonomics, the hybrid viewfinder, all of that kind of stuff.
You won't find a fully articulating rear screen?
Oh, I don't know about that. That doesn't really bother me, I've got to say. I know some people kind of didn't like that, but yeah, I don't know. It's the X Pro has, in my mind, has been the camera that they've tested things on in terms of ergonomics. So, you had the rear LCD, the hidden LCD, you had the tilt screen, you've got, it comes first. It's definitely for a person who loves that style, rather than necessarily going to be the best camera in that processor range. That's usually reserved, in my experience, for the XT range, in terms of, the XT6 will probably be the best functioning, or the XH6 or whatever they bring, XH6S, best functioning and have all singing, all dancing stuff. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe they'll just never do one again. I don't know. I noticed Andreas has been to Tokyo this week. He put on Instagram. He said, I've been to Tokyo this week, went up to, the second time I've been up to the Tewa factory up north of Tokyo. Here's some pictures of it. And the difference this time is I went with creative photographers and, ambassadors and everything. And I quietly replied to him and said, yeah, last time you went with me.
Yeah, I reckon that was him having a pop at you. Yeah.
I thought it was funny. Anyway, but he going back to Andreas, he's very good at explaining why there are so many models. And he's right with what he says. So Fujifilm, there are a lot of models, but I don't think necessarily there are any more models or any more confusing models than there are in any other brand ranges, to be honest with you. But what Fujifilm have done, and presumably Sony and all the others, they've kind of compartmentalized the ranges. So there's definitely a more traditional stream, there's a hybrid stream, and then there's a rangefinder style stream. So there's a lot of crossover in technology in those cameras, but it comes down to the choice for the user then, which particular style they want. So, if you think about including the XT32, the 30 Mark III, you've got in the traditional range, if you like, XT30 Mark III, the XT50, XT5, etc. Then you've got your hybrids, which are the XS20, XM5, XH2, XH2S, etc. Then rangefinder style X100, XE5, X Pro would be in there, should there be another one. So they've definitely, there's a crossover in technologies, but there's a very definitive separation of the types of cameras. And I would hazard a guess, again, no idea if this is factually true, I would hazard a guess that most people who use Fujifilm cameras stick to one of those compartmentalized stripes, if you like. Right. So most of them, if your rangefinder preference is rangefinders, you probably got XE5s, X100s, X Pros, etc. If you're more into kind of fast hybrid sports, weddings, all that kind of stuff, DSLR style stuff, you're probably more likely to be in that traditional range, XT5s, XT50s, etc. And then you've got that hybrid option, which is basically a mix of everything and options for people. So it is. I get why the question is, why is there so many and why is it confusing? But actually, if you look at it and you sit down and you analyze it, you'll realize it's done for a reason, and it's done for a very good reason. And they sell loads, so good for them.
Well, I think you've just secured yourself on the next aircraft out to Tokyo, Kev.
Oh no, I'm not creative. I'm not talented or creative.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Well, that is it for this week. A little bit brisker because we need to put it out the same day as recording. Is something we don't usually do, but there we go. We've done it that way. Kev, you've got to go anyway to make your next million from your passive income.
No, I've just done that last 10 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to go back to bed.
I want that life Kev has. I do. I want that life. Well, if you'd like to send a question in, then click at fujicast.co.uk is the address, or you can send it in via Facebook. Kev, how do you do that for Neil to then obviously organise for you to read?
Go to facebook.com, search for Fujicast Facebook group, join the group, and at the top there's the nice thread that says questions for the show read.
Very good. Have a good day, Kev. Bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
The Fujicast is an independent loading zone production. Email the show with your questions and words of wisdom to click@fujicast.co.uk. Email any complaints and political nonsense to our wives, who will deal with your comments in their own good time and in their own good way.